Welcome back, Fan-Fueled family. I'm going to be totally honest with you, I wasn't sure what I wanted to cover this week. I was already sitting down at my desk to write this script, just staring blankly at the screen when it came to me. Acklay. You know the Acklay. Maybe not by name, but you know it. You've seen it before in games and animation, and, of course, in live action. The first appearance of the Acklay was in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Come on, you remember. The Rakna-kadaki arena on Geonosis, the Acklay is one of the creatures sent out for the execution of Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme. Now, out of the three creatures sent into that arena, the Acklay, the Reek, and the Nexu, the Acklay is by far my favorite. Sure, the Nexu is cool, it's a big brown and purplish cat with 4 eyes and a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth. The Reek is, it's a mix between a bull and a rhino, it's fine. It wouldn't be out of place in Monster Hunter. But the Acklay is something special. There are crab and spider elements in its design which are great, and of course, that awesome roar. Acklays are originally native to Vendaxa. They have 3 eyes and a mouthful of sharp teeth. They're amphibious and, of course, carnivores. They're around 3.05 meters, or about 10 feet tall, weigh around 1,200 kilograms, or 2,646 pounds. They have sharp, powerful claws, thick skin, and species-wide ferocity that lends to many cultures adopting them as gladiatorial combatants. Because of this exportation, there are large populations of them on other worlds, Geonosis for example, but also Lehon and Felucia. They're strong, very strong. Of the 3 creatures released into the Rakna-kadaki arena, only the Acklay was able to destroy one of the massive stone pillars, toppling it with a tackle and nearly dropping it on Obi-Wan. They have a dull green carapace with a tan or dusty brown underside. They live underwater but often go onto land to hunt. As they are deep-sea creatures, their eyes are adapted to the darkness of the ocean, and thus Acklays have excellent low-light vision. Conversely, they are rather nearsighted, so they are best engaged from a distance, if you dare engage one at all. They do have a massive range advantage with their claws, sharp teeth that can pierce light armor like what clone troopers wore effortlessly, and are surprisingly agile for their size. An Acklay will not hesitate to spear you through the chest with a claw just for being near it when it's ready to feed. And they're always ready to feed. Acklays have incredibly high metabolisms, giving them almost explosive amounts of energy to fight, but also making them constantly ravenously hungry. On the subject of these claws, Acklays don't have actual nerve endings in their claws, meaning the claws don't feel pain or touch, but the claws are covered in tiny hairs. These cilia grant the Acklay very precise sensory feeling as they move their claws and also allow them to sense neuroelectric energy. So, for members of my audience who are still in school and haven't had a biology lesson yet, the way a brain works is by sending electrical signals around. That's an oversimplification, but it's what makes it possible for a brain to be a brain. Certain animals, in Star Wars and in the real world, have electroreceptors that can actually pick up on these subtle electrical signals. It's how hammerhead sharks hunt and why their heads are shaped like that. Their heads are packed with so many electroreceptors that the head has to be that large. Acklays do the exact same thing, meaning that when it comes to escaping an Acklay, you can run, but you can't hide, and if you do try to hide, you'll only die scared. Acklays also have a bony neck plate that they often use both as a tool of intimidation and as a weapon in armor. It protects the neck from overhead attacks and can be used crudely to bash a foe. Perhaps the most terrifying thing in the Acklay's arsenal was a rather rare mutation that allowed certain individuals to be force-sensitive. While Acklays are non-sentient, these rare force-sensitive Acklays could actually teach themselves to, and I kid you not, fire force lightning from their f***ing mouths. Just imagine running through the jungle of Felucia, your heart pounding in your ears as you hear that echoing roar, hear an Acklay crashing through the brush behind you. You get through a gap and some boulders, you're safe, it can't reach you here, and then it fires a blast of force lightning at you. Nope, I'm out.
Nope. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
There's also a subspecies known as mutant Acklays. They're simply Acklays that have been mutated by the toxins of Golba's pit on Geonosis and are larger, tougher, stronger, and even more aggressive. Their shells are a glossy black. Some cultures use the chitinous carapace of the Acklay to make body armor, which is pretty hardcore, I'm not gonna lie. We've seen Acklays in a surprising number of pieces of Star Wars media given how underappreciated they are. Attack of the Clones, of course, but they've also appeared in the original Battlefront 2, the Old Republic MMO, and several of its expansions, comics, novels, and more. The Acklay's sound was synthesized from sounds of a dolphin and a pig, which is super underwhelming with how cool it sounds. The Acklay's design was originally conceived when George Lucas requested a creature with praying mantis elements and velociraptor elements, though later design tweaks added elements of crustaceans. The fight between Obi-Wan and the Acklay in the Petronaki arena was heavily inspired by a very particular scene in the 1961 movie Mysterious Island where a sailor fights off a giant crab with a spear. I love the Acklay. They're really cool. Part of that could be my love of praying mantises. I mean, my favorite Pokemon is Scyther because it's a 5-foot tall praying mantis with goddamn sides for arms. That's just cool and you can't convince me otherwise. But just on their own, they're really neat. I don't think they'd be out of place in Monster Hunter, honestly. At least the ones that can shoot Force Lightning. I mean, Zinogre and Rajang already do that. Maybe something like a twist on the rakna-kadaki, which, can we just take a moment to appreciate just how awesome Rakna's armor is? It's really got a gothic vibe to it and I love it. But on the subject of armor, yeah, it's already baked into the lore that people use Acklay carapaces as armor, so it really fits. An amusing little tidbit, I've misread Acklay as Acklay for literally 23 years now. No idea why. I had a hard time shaking that when recording this script. What do you think of the Acklay? Let me know down in the comments. I'm eager to hear your thoughts and I reply to every comment. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy being able to put out a video for you every single Friday. It's hard work but absolutely worthwhile, especially when I get to talk about something as cool as the Acklay. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, a comment, share the video around. Everything you do helps and you can help me immensely with just a few clicks. If you want to watch more videos on Star Wars creatures, click here, or maybe here. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.